be able to edit it and all that shit.
Yeah.
You see me on there?
Yeah, we good. It's live.
We live, baby.
Oh, word. Look at that.
We live.
Come on now.
Yeah. But yeah, so we're gonna chat a little off topic for about, I would say, about 10 minutes. You know.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, but fuck around and shit. You know, the yeah, so when I'm doing like my stage one, I'm definitely gonna get that content from over there though, for sure.
You got to, bro.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that content for shiggity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
500 is all I need though.
How long has that app been around like that? How long has this been the thing? This is the first time I heard it when you were talking about it earlier.
MHD.
Yeah,
they've been around for some years now. They've been around since the 335s, from what I remember. Yeah, because my brother got a 335. They've been around since then. You know what I mean?
Here we go. I got the live.
All right, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, they've been around for a little bit, like, but it's just so crazy. It's like you just download an app and
because remember back
copy and paste the key. You paying for the key, so the key they shoot to your email. You copy the key and you paste it, and you go to the website and you paste it in the website, and boom, you got the licenses, and now you can tune your shit.
That's so dope. Because remember back in the days, fools might like if you had a domestic car, they might get like some Flow Masters, or like you had a import, you might get like an intake or something like, or the what do they call that when they used to add the VTEC?
Yeah, the VTEC. Oh man,
remember that? Like people used to do everything to add just some kind of extra horsepower. People were doing it. We're taking out the back seats. We're taking out, you know what I mean?
My RSX Type S, right? When I first got my RSX Type S, it was 200 horses, but to the crank, it gives you about 170, 180, no, like 180 to the crank.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean to the wheels. You know what I mean? It's 200 to the crank. Anytime they said they give you a car's horsepower, it's always to the crank. You got to subtract between 20 and 30% from the horsepower. So if they say 100 horsepower, right? To the wheels, about
70 to 80.
Yeah, you're only getting like 70 to 80 to the wheels. You know what I'm saying? So that's,
I remember my pops. We were talking about the CTSV. I think it was like 400 horsepower right out the gate.
Yeah.
The first editions.
But see, when a car's rear wheel, they get more power to the wheels. When a car's all-wheel drive, most of the power goes to the wheels.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. So my joint is all-wheel drive. So, but there's something where you can turn the all-wheel drive off.
Oh wow!
In the tune, yeah, you could have it to where only the rear wheels is moving, and just keep the front wheels off.
We go ahead and get then with like some switch posse.
Yeah, then they got anti-lag. You know what I'm saying? So anti-lag, that's a feature like on a lot of the tuning platforms or whatever. But with anti-lag, what it does is it lowers the boost, so when you pull off, you don't have a lot of wheel spin. You could just pick up and go. You know what I'm saying? And that's
because there's like virtually no lag time, like you said.
Yeah, there's no real lag time. You know what I mean?
Then you just punch the gas and the bitch go for real, like the electric cars.
Kind of like that. You feel me? All-wheel drive cars, they known to do that. Like on the track, all-wheel drive cars have their own class. You know what I mean? Like Evolutions, Mitsubishi Evolution, Lancers, the STIs. You know, they all have.
Lancers were badass.
Yeah, Lancers were crazy. Yeah. Now they make the Civics. They take this drivetrain from the CRV and they put it in the Civic and make the Civic all-wheel drive.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah, I seen a kid last week. I've been knowing him for a while. He took an M4 and made the M4 all-wheel drive, and that year M4 doesn't come all-wheel drive.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't know where he got the drive. I don't know where he got the drive, but I know he's using X drive. he definitely is using X drive.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think on the flip side, people could use like somehow utilize those apps to hack people joints?
I mean,
I guess we wouldn't put it past anyone, huh?
Not, but they have things that you can lock.
Preventative.
Yeah, you can lock the ECU. It's a lot of different things you can do.
Okay, so you feel relatively secure utilizing these joints?
Oh no, I still put a lock on my joint.
Oh, okay.
A physical lock.
Yeah, a physical lock.
I still use my clutch lock. I still use, I still got alarms. Or BMWs, they got the panic button. And they got the alarm and stuff like that. But they know when somebody's in it that's not supposed to be in it. And my stuff got cameras inside of it.
Word.
So they can see who's in the car. So if you go on that app and you press the panic button and like somebody stole your car, whatever, there's a GPS on your car, so they know exactly where you're going. Then on top of that, they can see who's in the car.
Oh, this is facts. I was in my man's Tesla. We were and then we were just letting it drive us, right? We're on the way up to Frisco the other week. And then like, he's fucking around on his phone and it pops up on the screen. And he calls himself Diamond Joe, so the car addresses him as such. Diamond Joe, put your phone down. I was like, oh shit, the car told you, man. And then I was like, oh wow, it's watching us.
Yeah, for real.
Whoa.
I don't know, JD. I think it's because my first live. I don't think people are gonna be tapping in like that unless I start doing it more regular.
I'm blasting it out right now. So I hit all the group chats on our fantasy shit. I'm blasting it on. I just tagged you on Facebook, but I'm about to blast it to all the to the black podcasters and all the groups that I'm in on that type of hype.
We're sending it all around the world.
Yes, sir.
And since it's alive, like after the fact, you could go and chop off whatever the 10 minutes, like you said, of just shooting the shit. You know what I mean? Then you
I have to go on the YouTube app to do that.
Yeah, because it's gonna press up on your YouTube, even though it's not saving.
I wonder if I could take it from the YouTube and send it back to my computer.
You'd be able to just screen record shit, if anything, to be honest.
Oh, man, that's a process.
I mean, but OBS does that though,
Yeah, see, with OBS, I don't gotta worry about none of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
StreamYard, they try to peddle these features to you, but on OBS, it's all free.
Yeah, they're like, it's almost like a puzzle. They're like, how smart are you? Figure this out.
Yo, OBS is not bad, bro. Once you get used to it, it's like, it's dope, bro. That shit is, man, listen, you can do a lot with that joint. But yeah, like, I could definitely, but that car's, like I said, all I need is 500, and then I'll work on the aesthetics. And my brother be on me about the aesthetics. He's like, bro, there's so much stuff you could do to the outside. I'm like, bro, I don't care about the outside of the car look good. If I care about under the hood, right? I mean, as long as it looks presentable, stock, clean paint, you know what I mean?
Are you a matte finish guy?
I mean, it depends. It looks good. It looks good on certain cars.
I always felt like if you have matte finish, it better be like a Lambo or one of them $100,000 plus cars. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you know why people usually get the wrap to achieve the same thing.
Oh, word. Okay.
But the wrap serves two things. The wrap, it gives you the matte finish if that's what you want, and you can get the it protects the paint.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So, and it'll be the color of whatever the original paint is, the wrap.
Nah, it's whatever color you want it to be.
Oh, so
you can make your color. You can make your shit kiwi green if you want. Like,
Do people be two-toning their shit?
I haven't seen it, but I actually, I've seen somebody do it with a wrap. They did it to some Acura MDX, trying to make it look like a Bentley, trying to make it look like a Maybach truck. I'm like, I gotta stop that. I gotta stop that. You know what I mean?
That's the 10-second Bentleys. Remember those, the Chrysler 300s?
Yeah. Oh,
you look at it, you got to double take it. Oh, that's not a Bentley.
I ain't got to double take. I know that's not no Bentley.
No, I'm talking about like
I take one look at that shit. That is not a Bentley.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Matter of fact, the mechanic that just did some work on my joint, because I keep a mechanic close, and then if I can't get to the one that I normally go to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
But the one that I mess with, over there. He was like, yo, he's like, I'm working on your car because I'm waiting for parts to finish up this Rolls Royce Ghost. Yo, he said, yo, dude, pull up to his shop with a tow truck, drop the Ghost off. He said the Ghost don't start. That dude was like, oh man.
Come on,
go. He's like,
you gotta
here we
call
go.
the Germans.
No. He worked. That's all he works on is German cars.
Oh, duh. You did. You are there for the Beamer.
Yeah, he works on Beamers, Benzes. He even work on Raris.
Get the fuck out of here.
What is Rory's Italian?
Italian.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Maserati and Ferrari.
Yo, he told me, he said a dude pull up with a Maserati, no start, right? So he said when I ran the test on the car, I told him, I said, yo, the motor's done. He said, how much is the motor?
The car?
He said, you ready? He said, yeah. He said 30 to 40 grand.
Whoa.
It's basically the price of the car. So he said, I'm gonna just junk this shit. Don't junk that. Park that out. You know how many people need Maserati parts?
Come on, man.
Crazy. And they ain't trying to go to the dealership? Man, please. I'm telling you, if I had millions, like, yo, it's so many dope businesses that you can put in play with some bread. Like say for instance, like
a legitimate chop shop is what you're saying?
A European junkyard.
Yeah.
Got all the parts, you know what I mean, for European cars.
Like a luxury car pick and pull.
Yo, bro. If
that's fucking badass.
You don't understand how big of a need that is.
Fact.
Because most of the times, like, you know, when you're working on a Honda, you can go to AutoZone to get Honda parts. Yeah, can't do that for European cars unless it's like wear and tear shit, like the belts, oil, stuff like that. But I'm talking about an actual part, that moving part that got to change on the car. You can't get that. Most of the parts you got to get from the dealership, or you got to get, like, I go through SCP Euro. You know what I mean? What if I can't? They have dealer parts, but they have them for cheaper, and then they have aftermarket too. But they only deal with Euro. And when you get the parts, it has a lifetime warranty on it. Even the oil.
Word.
Yeah, the oil has a lifetime warranty. So all you got to do is send them back your old oil. They just send you another thing of new oil.
That's kind of cool too, because theoretically they want you to send it so they can dispose of it properly. We would imagine.
Hell yeah. But anywho, let's jump into this shit, man.
Come on now.
All right. So, welcome to A Fan's Perspective. This is episode 27. You know, we were just messing around in here, you know, chopping it up. But the Diddy trial, that's what we on right now. So I'm gonna read this little clip from CNN. Okay. Sean Diddy Combs acquitted of most serious counts. Okay, so mixed verdict. Jurors in Sean Diddy Combs' federal criminal trial acquitted him of the most serious charges: racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but found him guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Sentencing outlook. Combs could get a prison sentence of up to 20 years. The maximum is 10 for each of the transportation counts. The defense has asked Combs to be released while he awaits sentencing. A bail hearing is set for 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, wow. He's going to be free. He's throwing a party. Oh, no. Is he going to throw a Diddy party?
I don't know about no parties.
I know. I'm just making a bad joke.
After the verdict, Combs faced the courtroom gallery and clapped. A lawyer for accuser Cassie Ventura said the verdict is not their desired outcome, but Ventura is grateful for the 2 convictions. Man, you was an accomplice. Stop it. But
damn.
So let's see. Sean Diddy Combs was found guilty this morning of 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, the counts that carried the least severe penalty. The jury's acquittal of Combs on the most serious charges, according to former Assistant District Attorney Julie Grant, to come down to the fact that the jury did not find enough evidence to convict Combs of those crimes. So with that being said, we said, okay, for whatever reasons, the men and women of the jury did not find there was enough evidence to prove these crimes in that federal court of law. That being said, Grant added, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Whatever.
Wow.
Combs was acquitted of 2 counts of sex trafficking pertaining to Cassie Ventura and Jane, respectively, and 1 count of racketeering conspiracy, both charges of which hold a maximum penalty of life in prison. Grant said that looking at the letter of the law, it's her legal opinion that the government has legally proven all of the allegations brought against Combs. But she also recognized that every juror comes into that courtroom with their own experiences. The jurors, she said, may not see the enterprise. They may not see the sex trafficking for literally what it is by law. The defense strategy of not calling any witnesses when they presented their case was somewhat of a stunning legal strategy, Grant said, adding that his move signaled confidence from Combs' side. When I was in the courtroom on Friday watching the closing arguments, I saw even more confidence from Diddy's attorney and from Diddy himself, she said. It seemed to me, looking at the faces of some of those jurors, they seemed to be in agreement with what the defense was arguing. And this is the sketches, you know what I mean? Just showing like and being grateful of having a release date. You feel me? Okay, so his bail hearing is set for 5 p.m. We actually close. It's 5 o'clock now. We're gonna see right now what's going on. Sean Diddy
open my phone up.
I'm pulling up on this joint. Sean bail hearing is scheduled for 5 p.m. according to the district executive's office. Combs' lawyers have asked the music mogul be released as he waits sentencing. Combs is found guilty of 2 counts of transportation to engage prosecution this morning, but the jury acquitted on the most serious charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Prosecutors are opposed to Combs' potential release. All right, so now it's 3 new updates, but I'm gonna just go to this one right here so far. Sean Diddy Combs' defense team has submitted the judge its letter asking that Combs be released while awaiting sentencing and proposing circumstances under which Combs will be released. The letter proposes a $1 million bond co-signed by Combs, his mother and sister, and the mother of his oldest daughter. Combs' travel be restricted to parts of Florida, California, New York, and New Jersey. Combs has homes in Florida and California, and the latter 2 states will cover visits with attorneys in attendance in court, the surrender of Combs' passport, drug testing by pretrial services, and all other standard conditions of pretrial supervision. The letter argues that since Combs faces a lighter sentence than he would have been convicted of, than he would have been if he had been convicted of the more serious counts, he should be released with conditions. The charges he was convicted of, 2 counts of transportation to engage prostitution, involves 2 separate victims. But even still, his team argues that under U.S. sentencing guidelines, which are advisory, the results in the inspecting guidelines range from 21 to 27 months. Mr. Combs has already been incarcerated for 10 months. His sentencing exposure, which we fully respect and do not seek to minimize in any way, is in fact low. And so is any corresponding risk of flight. Then here Cassie Ventura friend pens to the letter to the judge expressing grave concern about Combs' potential release. Man, stop it. All right, so let's see the updates. Combs' family is arriving. This is 11 minutes ago. Combs' family is arriving at court ahead of bail hearing. Members of Sean Diddy Combs arriving in the courthouse. Okay, the daughter seen the exit in the van. The son was also seen in the courthouse. I mean, okay, it's expected to begin soon. All right, you pulled up anything on your phone, JD?
Right now it got Law and Crime. Y'all familiar with Law and Crime on YouTube? Yeah, they got the Punisher reacts to the shocking verdict. So when we was on the other show not too long ago, I was talking about talks with Flea. You know what I mean? When he had the Punisher and the other boy on, you know what I mean? It was like, bruh.
What are you so shocked about? Boy, you was doing business, man. Knock it off, man.
Here it is. Here it is business.
Stop it. Stop it.
Business.
Stop it. Now
that's the latest shit I got right now, and that was 30 minutes ago. 33 minutes ago they got a 20-minute video of the Punisher interviewing him.
Hell yeah. What's up, Lee?
What's up, here?
How you feeling? Yeah. So at the end of the day, what's your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well, I think from the gate, all three of us kind of figured that Brett wasn't gonna get the Rico 100% because it was a lot of leaks leading up to before the trial had started 100%. You know what I mean? And I think I might be mistaken, but I definitely was on not guilty for the Rico for sure. We seen that Brett is a complete weirdo. 100%. There's no neglecting that. You know what I mean? The facts is the facts. He's a woman.
He wasn't being charged for being a weirdo.
Exactly, 100%. You know what I mean? So there it is. There, for me to be in that type of predicament, even though bruh was guilty of some shit, I've been in that predicament of having to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And luckily, by the grace of God, you know what I mean, I'm here right now, and bruh about to be here with his family sooner than later, you know what I mean? 100%. Because that Rico shit, man, that shit is minimum 20 with an L at possibility with an L, if I'm not mistaken. If not, it requires an L, 20 at the minimum, however it goes. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, bro, we're not going to neglect that what we seen on the video and from the transcripts and everything that has came about during the trial, because all that is public information. Bruh's complete certified 100%, you know what I mean? So, but yet I'm glad that bruh didn't get hit with that Rico, because where is the criminal organization? You know what I mean? He has got his money legitimately through selling records, selling clothes, selling alcohol, producing on other people's shit. You know what I mean? 100%, multiple avenues of revenue that is legit money. You know what I mean? Just because he pays to have fun, that's not a Rico act.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna answer Lee's question real quick. He said, "Does he get time served or a few more months?"
I think he gets time served.
I think it's a possibility. I mean, it said 21 to 27 months is roughly what he's looking at. He'd been in there for 10 months already. So if anything, he probably serve a year and come home. You know what I'm saying?
If that, because they probably 80%. You know what I mean? 100%. So that 10 months, that might be a 12 piece already. You know what I mean? So if we got to go for another 20 months, that ain't 8. That's a summertime. Summertime going into football season. You feel me? 100%. So yeah, and then the stipulations, because of the shit that he got charged guilty with and what you just broke down, he might have the opportunity to forfeit his passport, only be neglected to state Star Island, Beverly Hills, and wherever he at in New York, because they're going to keep tracks on him. He got to pee in a cup 100%. So no more of the extra activities, how he like to relax, maybe the medical, you know what I mean? Other than that, you know what I mean? He got to just be locked up in his house. And right now, he probably ain't trying to make no motherfucking appearances 100%, because
he's been the butt of jokes
20 to life. All he want to be around is his family. And then we also got to dig deeper. Bruh got daughters. The daughters was in there hearing every fucking thing. You feel me? So he got to go make that shit right with his motherfucking family. You feel me? 100%. So he don't give a fuck about nothing but the world, nothing what the world say once he touch outside of the federal confinements that they have him in right now.
And look, man, I'm not gonna agree at all with a lot of the shit that he was into, obviously, but I'm gonna echo what Slim is just saying since the beginning of this whole shit. Is that listen, man, if they do him wrong, if they do him wrong and he goes down because of some injustice, that's injustice for all of us. You know what I mean?
That's why I said that I want people to get a fair trial. Let me answer this question real quick. He said probably ankle bracelet when he's gone and weird parties and stuff. But I don't think he's doing no more parties, man. I think it's over. It's quiet for that.
And, no more white parties for Diddy?
Yeah, I think it's quiet for that. But this is why I say that I want every black man to get a fair trial, because the justice system is not really kind to us like that. Let's be serious here. You know what I mean? That's all you can really ask for is a fair trial. You know what I mean? So I feel like it was pretty fair. I feel like the judge was fair. You know what I mean? They ain't railroad him. They wasn't, they ain't get to do him dirty like they wanted to. So
that's the key word right there, like they wanted to, bro.
Yeah, they wanted to do him dirty.
because we have to give him some credit. He had no choice. I mean, I don't even know if they offered him a deal or not, you know what I mean? But he went to the box against the feds, bro, 100%, you know what I mean? And we know they conviction rate, even though plea deal is part of their conviction rate, 100%. But bro had no choice but to go to the box, 100%. And he hit a grand slam because he was facing 20, bro. He's 50 something years old, pushing 60. And my grades is, you know what I mean? Like, bruh's 100%. Who the fuck, you know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah.
And he get to come home with his money. You know, they probably charge $1,000 per hour, $2,000 per hour, whatever his lawyer team is.
You better go add some hundreds of thousands to that.
My point is, bro still got some of his dodo. 100%.
Yeah, nah, for sure. I would definitely believe so. But see, this is the thing, right?
And he might get some endorsements back up.
All those people coming out saying this and saying that, doing all these interviews about Puff. I gonna have to see that man. You know what I mean? All the people that wasn't supporting, because what I noticed with a lot of you know, a lot of dudes of his status that get caught up in these allegations or whatever the case may be, they go to court basically by themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't, you know, all the people that Puff knew, all these people, like, why didn't they show up and show out?
Eventually.
I wouldn't want to stand next to Jay.
Ooh. Because he didn't stand next to fucking...
You ain't standing next to me, so what am I standing next to you for? I don't need to do business with you. I ain't gonna front. Like, I'd have come out this joint feeling some kind of way. Like, I don't want none of y'all around me. If y'all wasn't supporting me, this is my bottom right here. This is my lowest point. So
hey, he's gonna give Stevie J the biggest hug when he sees him.
Because Stevie J stood tall. That's my man. That's my man, and I'm not going against him.
He was ready to crash out.
Yeah, I'm gonna speak up for him. That's loyalty right there.
Fact.
That's what you call loyalty. People don't know what the hell loyalty look like because everybody backdooring or want to be.
What do you feel about Nori?
You know what I mean?
Like Nori and them, right? Like Nori, he definitely would always big up Puff and be like, yeah, you know, we hope the brother gets through it, blah blah. But he would still let people come on and then you know what I mean, and make the no Diddy jokes and you know what I mean?
I wouldn't have been tolerating none of that because you know. At the end of the day, I mean, they
removed Bruh from Revolt too.
Yeah, but Puff was the one that put Nori on
the Revolt,
put that situation together.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? You know, when Nori copped that new Maybach, and Puff was like, "I like how you looking there, Playboy," knowing he the reason why he's sitting up in that Maybach. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? So, you know, that's how I see it. But
because when Drink Champs started the bubble, they got on Revolt, and then they blew Revolt up, like for real. And then even like the Breakfast Club was like, okay, we'll show our little, you know, video clips on there, and then you know what I mean. But it was all after Drink Champs got there.
Yeah. Early Joe Budden. Well, I ain't gonna say early Joe Budden, but like right before COVID or right when COVID hit, Joe and Diddy got a classic interview where they in the back of the Rolls Royce doing an interview.
You know, I remember that shit. That was when Joe would pull up on cats.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, he got Joe. He got Joe a bag for messing around with them. You know what I'm saying? So you know, Puff, I mean, he put people on. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is like, where all this hate for Puff come from? You know what I'm saying? Like I know it's certain things in history that people may not like him for individual situations or whatever, but the bogging down and everybody, it's like where all this come from?
Well, I mean, just in the times that we in, and all the news is accessible so easily, and motherfuckers make content and motherfuckers make memes and all types of stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because really, none of the main hitters like that, you know what I mean, have really just said, you know what I mean, really too much. Whether they was directly involved or indirectly involved, you know. But you got some motherfuckers that's on a different like type tier where it's just, you know what I mean, 100%. And I'm not making no excuses for them, not agreeing with the woo wops and all the extra stuff like that. We know the facts 100%. But the main thing is the Rico, like 100%. I ain't gonna say that's the main thing, you know, because bruh is You know, we seen it on
Yeah,
camera.
there was the
100%.
the S
But the
traffic.
Rico like type stuff, bruh, they tried to wash, bruh, 100%, man.
Yeah, they definitely did. But you know, all of this started over, like, for me, this is just a theory. I feel like this started with the whole De Leon thing. Because remember, Puff was promoting Ciroc for the people that actually owned it and made it a household name.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Once he did that, he said, you know what? If I could make Ciroc a household name, I could make my own brand a household name. You know what I mean? So he came with De Leon, right? De Leon was doing his thing or whatever. He was trying to make De Leon a household name. And then something came up with, he wasn't getting agave in his De Leon. Right? That's like a natural sugar. He wasn't getting the agave, and then they wasn't putting the same marketing dollars behind De Leon that they was putting behind other brands.
It was Casa Amigos.
Yeah, huh?
One of the main ones was Casa Amigos. What's the actor's name? The OG actor?
George Clooney.
Amigos?
George
Clooney. Oh, my mama. That's one of the main competitors, and he's seen that, you know, like you said about the agave plants. Oh, my mama.
Yeah, so they said they wasn't putting. He said they wasn't putting agave in it, and then they wasn't putting the same amount of marketing dollars that they put behind these other brands that's under the same conglomerate. So he called racism. So he was gonna sue them. Now the thing is, when you go to sue them, you gotta understand these folks got more money than you. So if you're gonna sue them, you gotta know that your hands got to be clean, because if you got dirt, they're gonna throw it right on you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because if you look at it, Jay-Z sued Bacardi over Douce, because Jay-Z bought the Douce from Bacardi, built up the value on it, and then he was trying to sell it for a profit. Because that's what Jay-Z does. He buys companies, builds them up, and sells them for a profit. So he was trying to sell Douce back to Bacardi, but what Bacardi was doing, they was you know, doing a lot of slick stuff, trying to devalue the market value of Douce so they can buy it for the price that they want to buy it for. So he sued them on unethical business practices and won. You see what I'm saying? But the thing with Jay makes sure he keeps his hands clean. Now, Puff did the same thing, similar thing, right? The thing was
pretense of racism, though.
Yeah, you got to keep it business, because when you call racism, you bring in a whole different can of worms.
Yeah.
So now they with that being said, he called racism, and what happened is a couple months later or whatever time later, it wasn't that too far from when he did that all of a sudden Cassie comes with this, you know, with the case, and then he pays Cassie off, but he pays her off at the last minute. The case ends up in federal court, and now they're able to pile on all these so-called victims and all this. It seemed like a smear campaign. You see what I'm saying? But business is war. So, you know, you got to be, and you have to make sure when you making major deals or you suing major companies over your paper, you got to make sure your hands is clean. And I think that was, you know, he was living kind of reckless. You know what I mean? Like really towing the line. You feel me? So I think that's what ended up, you know, coming back to bite him or whatever the case may be. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is, man. You know, he done made history 10 times over already. So, you know.
Facts, though, bro.
Now, I wanna show y'all something, because I'm still waiting for this bail here. I want to see if he.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, he denied the bail, bro.
Oh shit,
man, bro.
So when is sentencing? Probably like in a
judge
month.
Denies bail for Sean Diddy. Come on, so he got to go straight to jail. He got to sit and wait for sentencing now. Well, I mean, at least that time will be counted. But if you got out on a monitor, I think that time gets counted too.
So I'm gonna tell you what it is. They don't want to process him today because tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow they get they holiday start Thursday. Holiday start Thursday. They don't want to process him out. It take 12 hours to process you out. 10 to 12 hours. 100%, bro. And they just had the hearing at 5 p.m. y'all time. 100%. Everybody finna go home. They ain't trying to process that dude out. Maybe next week, because I think they can go back for another bail hearing because they have the rights about motherfucking time served, bruh. 100%. And based on the stipulations, man, we're gonna give you everything you want. The passport.
Yeah.
He gonna be instead of all 3 states. He gonna be regulated. Man, I'm gonna just stay right here in California or LA or New York. Matter of fact, it might be New York because it's right here in that jurisdiction. You feel me? 100%.
Yeah. Now
he said he can go to LA, Florida,
and New York. Them is the 3 spots that he got.
And he said because of the severity of the conviction not being, you know, that high as the racketeering and all that shit, he can fly. So it doesn't deny him these accesses, but he can only fly to these places.
But if I was him, that's what I would say. If I was him, man, look, I'm gonna just stay in this one spot right here. 100% ankle monitor, like Lee said. They said piss in the cup, revoke your passport. I forgot what else.
But he still got to. He can't stay in one spot because he still got to.
If he's within 50 yards of a party, it is a violation of his parole.
But you know what? I don't even think business is on his mind though right now. You know what I mean?
But you still have relationships that you have to.
No, for sure. You know what I mean? But you also could delegate that to your peoples that's still on the payroll. Even Jane, we ain't got to say Jane's name, but Jane was still getting her shit paid for up until the trial. 100%.
Yeah, I think.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that one is going to get cut off.
But what I'm saying is business is still being handled. You know what I mean? No matter what you want to say, while bruh was still down for them 10 months, business was still being handled. You feel me? So bruh still got, he was on vacation. Where I'm from in my community, we call that a vacation. You know what I mean? Whether you want to disagree with me or not, or however your slang is.
The forced vacation.
100%, it's a vacation. You know what I mean? So bruh is still going to extend his vacation whenever they crack them gates, 100% in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Because, you know, sometimes, you know, business doesn't run good when I don't know, Shook said something like that back in the days. He said, you know, when you're not around, the business is not supposed to run good because then at some point they don't need you.
Yeah, that's because he put Reggie Wright in. And David Kenner. Oh, my bad,
another snake. But yeah, so I want to make a observation on something, right? All right. You see this right here?
Yep.
U.S. rules ex-Abercrombie CEO is unfit for trial.
Mental. Gotta be mental.
Wow.
Yep, mentally.
Now, the former chief executive of fashion brand Abercrombie & Fitch is mentally incompetent and currently unfit to stand trial on charges of sex trafficking and prostitution. The U.S. court has ruled. Mike Jeffries will now be held in custody and treated in a hospital for an initial period of up to 4 months to determine if his condition is likely to improve enough for the case to proceed. Mr. Jeffries' legal team says last December that he has dementia and a late onset Alzheimer's disease. He's accused of using his wealth, power, and status to traffic and sexually abuse vulnerable men over the years, alleged crimes that could carry a life-term jail sentence.
His motherfucking models for his fucking clothes, probably.
That's a special weirdo.
Then Judge Nusrat Choudhury agreed on Friday that the defendant was suffering from a mental disease or defect, making him unable to understand court proceedings. The ruling followed by an assessment by 2 medical experts, one designated by Mr. Jeffries' defense team and the other chosen by prosecutors. The judge said in a court order that Mr. Jeffries will be treated in a hospital for up to 4 months to see if he's likely to regain competency. Once a follow-up assessment is complete, the defendant could either face trial or the court will weigh up the next steps. These could include dropping the criminal charges against him or releasing him to home confinement. Mr. Jeffries was arrested and charged last October along with his British partner, Matthew Smith, 61, and their middleman, James Jacobson, 72. All 3 denied the allegations. U.S. prosecutors alleged when the men used force, fraud, and coercion to make young men, many of whom were aspiring models, engage in violent and exploitative
I fucking knew it.
Yes, exploitative sex acts while Mr. Jeffries was chief executive.
And that motherfuckers from
2000.
London, his business partner, my bad, Slim. They were, oh my goodness, bro.
Yeah, they're
shit.
The dude in London was bringing him in.
Yeah, let me just finish this up real quick. Mr. Jeffries was chief executive from at least 2008 until 2015. The charges followed a 2023 BBC documentary and ongoing podcast series that revealed 3 of them benefited from a sophisticated operation in which recruited scouted young men for sex in cities including London, New York, Paris, and Marrakesh. The BBC
that makes them an international syndicate.
Yeah. The BBC has since revealed that more than 40 men, including Abercrombie & Fitch employees, have now come forward with civil allegations of sexual assault, drug and rape, the R word, with claims dating back to 1992, the year Mr. Jeffries started running the company. Woo.
You know what's crazy? But then they're pushing him being senile. This is fucked up.
I'm finna tell you why they pushing him senile. All you gotta do is just go Google his motherfucking net worth 100%, and it's gonna buy him fucking senilism or Alzheimer's or what it said up there 100%. This is a fucking clothing brand. Clothing brands get billions of dollars, bro. 100%. Abercrombie and Fitch is in every fucking mall until the fucking pandemic, bro. 100%.
Yep. All right, so let me finish this. Civil trial lawyers have told BBC that clients are dismayed at the criminal court's decisions. They're dismayed at the criminal court decisions that Mr. Jeffries is unfit to stand trial. We've been speaking with our clients who are disappointed by the decision and still want justice, said Brad Edwards and Brittany Henderson, representing the 26 alleged victims. Brian Bieber, Mr. Jeffries' criminal defense lawyer, said his client has recently been evaluated by doctors who determined he had Alzheimer's disease, Lewy body disease, and the residual effects of a traumatic brain injury requiring around-the-clock care, which will almost certainly worsen over time. Dr. Cheryl Paradis, the U.S. prosecutor's medical expert, also independently assessed Mr. Jeffries. According to court papers, she found he was unable to understand the nature and consequence of the proceedings against him or to properly assist in his defense. His memory impairment almost certainly will cause him to be unable to accurately recall events and details. How convenient.
Wow, how convenient. For real.
Dr. Paradis said, according to the court filings, and his severely limit his capacity to provide accurate and reliable information. She added, additionally, his inappropriate behavior, which is a symptom of his dementia, can further interfere with his ability to maintain proper courtroom demeanor. He may blurt out self-incriminating statements or engage in erratic behavior, which will undermine his credibility.
Okay, I got some, so I went and typed him in. This documentary takes a look into the link between Les Wexner, Mike Jeffries, and Jeffrey Epstein built and exposed and shattered legacies left behind. Uncover the dark secrets of fashion world, and we investigate and take a deep dive from Lex Wexner's empire to Mike Jeffries' controversies and Jeffrey Epstein's sinister ties. We untangle the web of influence, power, and alleged scandals hidden behind the brands. And this is a documentary right now on YouTube about all 3 of them dudes.
Now, this is the thing. He posted a $10 million bail and skated. You know what I'm saying? Then so you never heard about it again until this update right here.
So the reason why I typed him in is because I wanted to see the last time that he was in his full just moving around and stuff. Because if he was just moving around and stuff before that, he got charged. Like I said, it's the money, bro. Google is
I'm gonna say this. Just I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a minute, right? My pops, when he started having the symptoms, from what I heard, it started in like 2011, right? But I didn't notice it until like 2019, and it had to be super obvious. It wasn't like it's something, you know, he was off his medication for a certain amount of time because he was chucking them joints. He wasn't taking, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's when he had an episode, and that's the only way I knew it was real. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But from 19 was the last time that we actually spoke, hung out, chilled, conversations, all that. You feel me? from 19 to every year, it got worse. So it could be true. You know what I mean? But
it also is the ultimate cop out because the iron.
Yeah, it is because the civil. Oh, let me get back to this article real quick. I wanted to zoom in on something about the civil. Okay, so
Go ahead.
let me see. Okay. All right, let me scroll down to this joint.
Like that's
all right.
Crazy. Like
so
that lawyer got a good one.
So look,
he can't. My client can't remember.
Facts.
It never happened.
So the BBC understands that Mr. Jacobson and Mr. Smith can still face trial on the same sex trafficking and prostitution charges. Alongside criminal charges, Mr. Jeffries and his partner, Mr. Smith, have been defending multiple civil lawsuits accusing them of the R, sex trafficking, and assault, which they vehemently deny. The civil lawsuits have been stayed or legally put on pause until a resolution of the criminal case, which takes precedence to protect Mr. Jeffries' right against self-incrimination.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? So it says, while his criminal case remains uncertain, Mr. Jeffries could still face a civil trial or reach a settlement over the allegations. If this was the case, the outcome could lead to compensation being awarded to alleged victims. Mike Jeffries attacked these men and ruined their lives at a point where they were most vulnerable and chasing their dreams, says civil case lawyer Brad Edwards. He still will be held accountable by our lawsuit, and his co-conspirators will still face the criminal justice system. For anyone affected, still in fear about coming forward, you should be reassured that his power is now totally gone. Yeah, right. Abercrombie & Fitch is also being sued for negligence, with lawsuits claiming that it has knowingly facilitated heinous sex crimes. The company, which also owns the Hollister brand, has previously said,
what was that?
Hollister.
Oh, wow, that's right.
Yeah, has previously said that it was appalled and disgusted by Mr. Jeffries' alleged behavior. So, but that's the thing, like, you know, he was able. To me, it could be true or it could be the ultimate finesse.
Yeah,
you feel me? It could be the ultimate finesse, and
they could buy off a doctor.
Oh, for sure. You got to think about it, right? The mafia had all kind of people in their pocket, allegedly, right? All the way up the chain.
Forget about it.
These prosecutors, the feds, all that. So you mean to tell me the dude with billions of dollars is not going to have? Come on now.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, but that shit though is allegedly transnational like type shit. And with the models, them models, you know, you could be a underage model. There's no age limit on the model, 100%. And now if they're targeting models that come from certain backgrounds and diversities in certain areas of especially with the out of the country stuff, 100%. Oh yeah, I want to make it up out my third world country or just my country's part of the country where I can't get out of. But I'm a beautiful motherfucker, whether it be male or female, 100%. And please forgive me, pause. You know what I mean, referring to that, but I'm just trying to generalize. You know what I mean? A motherfucker will try and get up out, and then you know what I mean. You know, for real, in that type of industry, we hear about that in the modeling industry all the time, where motherfuckers get taken advantage of 100%. Just
you know, to me, to be honest, I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of these big money guys, you know, wealthy people, you know, they all engage in the same stuff. My thing is this, right? They trying to have fun with their money. You know what I mean? You gotta understand, in the hood, we have house parties and stuff like that. Whatever, females come over, dudes come over. We got, you know, people blowing their L's. They doing what they do. Whatever
there's indulgence.
Yeah, whatever their indulgence is. You know what I mean? And if you add millions of dollars to that,
imagine how bigger it gets.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be more. It's gonna be more people in that party. It's gonna be more women. It's gonna be hella more liquor and whatever.
The Diddy party.
Yeah, like I'm just saying, like they just do it on a bigger level. You see what I'm saying? They're not doing what average people do.
Remember,
they just
the Diddy party's got to get its reputation back because the Diddy parties was legendary. It was what on after is what.
Yeah.
is what the weirdo shit happened.
Yeah, I mean, homie's a weirdo when it comes to that.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, was he running this criminal enterprise? No, it don't make sense. It do not make sense
at all.
So at the end of the day, I mean, I feel like I just feel like this. Sometimes you kind of need a moment like this to really see who really mess with you like that for real.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And that was his lowest point. So I'm pretty sure within that time he was able to see who really rock with him and who don't. Because you don't have to be, you don't have to be boisterous. Yeah, you don't have to be boisterous to show your loyalty or your support to somebody. You could be quiet and be supporting. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a time. It's like a wake up call. You get to say, and then you gotta chill out, bro. Like you're almost 60. You know what I mean? You gotta relax, man, bro. You feel me?
Nori voice. You gotta relax.
Yeah, you gotta relax.
You gotta relax.
Everything. Fact.
But that's that's what's going on with that. Now they denied his bail, so that's whack because now he got to sit in there and wait for them to. To
the holiday weekend.
Yeah, and we don't even know when his sentencing is. So it's like, his sentencing could be a couple months from now.
It don't count towards his time, though. Time to think, though, right?
Yeah.
Man, the judge ain't worried about that shit. That motherfucker gonna go enjoy his holiday weekend in the Hamptons. Probably. They like, look, bro, this motherfucker is a federal judge, bro. You got to remember. This is a RICO charge that they presented to this judge on taxpayers' dollars, bro. The charges that he got found guilty of, he can serve time sentence and get the fuck up out of here. They didn't waste his motherfucking time, the jurors' time, the taxpayers' money time.
Yeah, the government looked bad on that one.
He's fucking hot right now, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Look, bro, y'all didn't try to accuse this man of what he was doing in his bedroom of a RICO, bro. 100%. You done wasted these motherfuckers' time, dog.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because people got to take off. I mean, they got to get out of work, and then you don't get paid a whole lot of money to be a juror.
Some of them motherfuckers' jobs, they only, like in the state of California, like since I'm a government employee, they gonna give me all my wages. But some motherfuckers only give you $15 an hour.
Yeah, you basically get minimum wage. That's minimum wage in New York.
Facts, my nigga. Oh, excuse my language. Facts, bro. That shit is bullshit. But the one thing about them is that they got to go home at the end of the day that I did see about this case. 100%.
Another thing is too, right? How do you keep stuff like this away from the jurors? How do you stop them from knowing who? Like they know who Puffy is.
That is fact.
But then again, they might not be so invested in his lifestyle like that.
No, them is facts. And then just remember 2 days ago,
at least once.
And remember 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? It was that came out that it was only one juror that was hung up on count one. Everything had got agreed upon except for count one yesterday. You feel me? And it was only one juror. That might have been Monday or yesterday. You feel me? So here it is now. And we got this shit when we was backstage on the other show. You feel me? About what it was even before that. 100%. So you go from 8 hours from going to sleep, being hung up on one person to that, like, oh yeah, it's a wrap, bro. They didn't prove their case.
Yeah, they didn't. But that's what they want to do.
How y'all feel about the strategy of the defense of not calling nobody? What does that tell y'all?
They were confident.
They were confident. They were definitely confident. Like I don't think they needed to call anybody to say what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It would have been in one of the laws of power, say, this is one of those moments to say nothing.
Because you call a witness and then they can be cross-examined.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Which can open up a can of worms. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
A witness on his side, they can mess around and say the wrong thing. The prosecution is going to cross-examine them. Facts. So, why even run that risk?
Tory didn't want to get up on that stand and say who really did it because he didn't want to be viewed as a snitch.
To be honest, man, I don't know
Tory's a civilian though. He could have just went up in there. I don't think anyone would have fucking said anything.
But this theory that he's trying to, say that he's innocent, it's like it just went away. Like it had some traction, and then it just went away. So I don't really know.
He got stabbed up. Remember that?
Yeah, but I don't really know what happened when it comes to that. Like I don't really know what happened, because the thing is with Tory Lanez, it was like the way he was moving around. He was,
kind of crazy.
Yeah, he was moving kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like then the thing that got it for me was was he out on bail when that happened, or was that?
No,
he wasn't out on bail, right, when that first happened, right?
Yeah.
You sure?
I don't think so.
Well, he wouldn't. If he's out on bail, if it happened in Canada, he wouldn't be able to come across here, and if it happened here, he wouldn't have been able to go home 100%. So I don't think he had no charges before that incident.
No.
I'm talking about if he.
As soon as it happened, if they let him out. If they let him out on bond or something like that.
No, I'm talking about when he first caught those charges. Was he out on bond?
Yeah, I don't think so. Oh no, you know what? He might have been, because I'm just trying to remember, because this was like that happened before COVID. No, this happened during the COVID times. Remember, he was doing like Tory radio. He's doing all the Instagram lives. They took his Instagram down. Remember, he's showing all kind of ass and tease. Yeah.
Now the thing with Tory is I don't really know. I don't really know if what he's saying is true. I don't really know if what Megan's saying is true. I just know the evidence tells a different story.
They didn't show and they didn't present like the DNA evidence. Like,
my thing is, why wouldn't you testify on your own behalf? You know what I mean? You was there, but see, the thing is, situations like that. See, people could portray who they want when they're a rapper, or when they're in the street, or whatever the case may be. But situations like that, it's gonna sort them out. It's gonna make you choose. You know what I mean? So you a gangster or you're not.
He chose,
and he got and him doing his time and going through all that situations. That's part of the gangster life. You know, so
he did. He was, and then allegedly before he had got poked up in there. He was on some kind of social media live somewhere, like with a blue rag, talking some shit and woo woo. But anybody that wanted to come see me, woo woo.
Yeah. I mean, this is what you promoting. Even when, like, what's his name, August Alsina, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, homie did some sucker shit by exposing, what happened between him and Jada. That was some bullshit. Like, if that happened. You should have left. He probably
could have got a big old bag and just be quiet for that.
Yeah, you should have just kept that in house, man. Like you did that. Everybody don't need to know about that. You know what I mean? But Tory Lanez was talking crazy about him, and he made a song throwing shots at dude. So, August Alsina heard it. So when he seen Tory and Tory tried to give him dap, he looked like, nah, I'm not dapping you. You sitting there dissing me on a song, and then you want to dap me up in public. I ain't moving like that. And then you get your bodyguards to jump on dude. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit.
Karma's
bullshit. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying I don't know. He like his he be all over the place, man. He's moving kind of crazy. I can't say that it's beneath him to do something like that. Based on what I've seen with his character so far, I can't say it's beneath him to do that to Megan. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, I can't say that. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. At first, I thought she might have been telling the truth, but then it's like the evidence don't point to that all the way. Then your story is changing up, shorty. So I don't really know who to believe in that situation. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
but
crazy.
Yeah, but my thing is my thoughts with Puff, man. It's just like, you just gotta chill out, man. You just gotta chill out, And I'm not one of those people that was trying to pile on and say, oh, Puff did this, Puff deserved that. Yeah, listen, man, I ain't God. I ain't here to be judging nobody. So I don't know I don't know what he did, what he didn't do. I look at it like this. I just look at the facts of the case, and I just want the man to get a fair trial. Because Bill Cosby got a reversal. You know what I'm saying?
And
nobody showed up to his trial either.
That.
No one remember. No, because they don't. Because it'll make them look crazy if they. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying so much. Oh man, somebody asked me. Somebody gonna ask me. Oh, you think 60 women can get paid off? I think 100 women can get paid off. You don't gotta give them a whole lot of money.
And he had enough money to buy a network, and then all this shit starts popping up.
That's what I'm saying. And my thing is like, you thinking how much you think you gotta pay these people to go in court and make a claim against dude? You think you gotta pay them $50,000 a piece? No way. A lot of them women not in the best position in life. They could use an extra $10,000.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? And then on top of it,
non-disclosure.
And then if you get a settlement, that's more money on top of that. You know what I mean? So come on, man. They could get paid off. You probably don't even got to give them no money. It ain't gonna cost them nothing. That's the thing. The victim identity doesn't even have to be revealed, unless they're gonna be a star witness. Their identity don't got to be revealed. They can get if whether the case, whether they get a settlement or not, they ain't coming out their pocket, so they really got nothing to lose. They just got to show up to court and come with whatever frivolous claim that they coming with. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. So that's why I say, like,
that's a good word, frivolous.
My bad, y'all.
Yeah. So that's the thing. They, so when Bill Cosby got that reversal, nobody said nothing. You know what I mean? When Michael Jackson had that situation, where they say he was playing with the kids, like his support really came from his fan base. It ain't really come from the black community like that. You know what I'm saying? It came from his fan base.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson. The only thing with the Michael Jackson joint in the Bill Cosby was it was minors versus grown people. 100%, you know.
Yeah, but he was Cosby
was the same thing with the R. Kelly. Like me and Slim have been talking about this, and we was kind of like, you know what I mean, woo whopping, you know what I mean, the Mann Act. And Slim is the one that told me about the Mann Act, and we was backstage, or we might have been on the pod talking about the R. Kelly, the man. And like I said, he's the one that told me, and they tried to hit the dude that we talking about right now with the Mann Act, bro. And if you go read that woo wop, the only thing is that Kells was accused of minors. Mike was, he's sitting behind bars, so you know what I mean, bro.
My mind's telling me no.
Michael Jackson, and Michael Jackson is one of my favorite all-time entertainers of life, 100%. But it was a minor versus an adult with Bill Cosby, you know what I mean?
My thing was this though, like even with the Michael Jackson situation, like who would really leave their kids by this man's house for days at a time? Like, you know what I mean? I don't really trust people like that to be doing that. I don't care if you're a celebrity. I'm not leaving my child by your house.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
And then he's sleeping in the bed with them. I know he said he didn't do anything. He said he would slit his wrist before he touches the child. I get it.
Y'all ever seen the Nickelodeon?
But it was just kind of weird, bro. I'm just keeping it a buck. It was kind of weird.
You ever see the Nickelodeon documentary?
Oh, for sure, I seen that. I didn't watch the.
You know about some of the parents then, right?
Yeah.
It is there, bro. Some of these motherfuckers just be woo woo, cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo.
Yeah, but see, the thing is though,
they're called sadists.
See, this the thing. This is the thing I don't like about when they do this. Like with the Me Too movement, why wasn't that really addressed? Because that dude is still running around. That worked at Nickelodeon. He's still running around. He didn't go to jail.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why is he still around? And then the thing is, the child actors being violated that's been a rumor for years, and all you see is the end result, which is them being on some kind of narcotic, or they got an alternate
Orlando
lifestyle.
Brown. Look at Orlando Brown.
Not Amanda Bynes.
She's part of so that dude in Nickelodeon, he's had a fetish for her.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole list of them, and it's just like, damn, like
Bogey got a story about Orlando Brown.
Yeah.
What happened?
Tell them your story about Orlando Brown, big bro. Please forgive me putting you on the spot.
We would always go down to LA and run around, and like a lot of times when we would go down there and do shows, it would always be in Hollywood because like we just had the connect on the promoters over there, and then you know we would stay in like the Big 8 or whatever they call the little Big 8 motel or whatever, and like we'd be right there on the Sunset, right there on Hollywood Boulevard, just boom doing our thing, and like there's a place called the Red Devil Cafe, and this joint was open late, and then they would sell slices of pizza, and then the dude was like. We wanted to get a bunch of slices for the cast that we were with, but then he was like, "Oh, I gotta put in a whole pie then, bro." And I'm like, "Oh, give me a whole pie." So he puts one in there, and when the pizza comes out, we're just in the front. I'm holding a box of pizza, and we're just grubbing like that. And then my man fires up a blunt, and then we're just passing the blunt. We're eating pizza, and then this random dude just walks up, and he's like, "Hey, is it cool if I hit that blunt?" And I was just like, the blunt was already like, almost gone because I'm just like,
I ain't letting Orlando Brown hit my blunt. Sorry.
Here's the thing, I ain't hitting the blunt after no more. But my man is very adamant, like, oh, he's tripping off, dude. And then he even asked for a slice of pizza. I'm like, I don't know, dude. But I'm like, hey, bro, why you? I'm just gonna give you a slice of pizza. You already smoked my blunt. Like, I'm saying some shit. And then when the dude had to give him a slice. Because he even offers to buy it. And I'm like, it's not the point, bro. But I'm like, listen here, boom. Gives him a slice. So he's eating the pizza. He daps up my boy and shit. And then they leave. It's like 2008. He's like, bro, you know who that was? That was Orlando Brown, bro. I'm like, I don't know who that is. He's like, bro, for fucking That's So Raven. I'm like, I did not watch That's So Raven, bro. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And it was funny because he was like a weirdo cat for real.
Oh, my mama.
Years later, now I see him in them interviews, and I'm like, oh shit, he was just like that, bro.
That child actor shit, bro.
Yeah, man, that been going on for a minute.
That child actor shit,
and that never got uncovered. And never got. And I said, those people who violate those children, man, they never got exposed, never. And I know those kids was being violated because all you see was the end result.
And they get on drugs early, I was on pills early, I was on pills at 17 years old in 1997. 100%. And I wasn't no child actor. I was just outside having fun, 100%. And but yet some motherfuckers
don't do drugs, kids.
100%. Please don't do them. We are not promoting that. But some motherfuckers is able to shake that shit off and realize, this ain't for me. But some other motherfuckers, they go to the next whole motherfucking stage of trying to relaxation. 100%, and they just fall in love with all the, like how we were saying, when you got a lot of money, everything that you got, it just emphasizes it because you can pay for it more. You can fund this. You can have more people around you to enjoy what you like to indulge in. 100%, And them child actors, bro, they running it up, especially if they on syndicated shows. 100% that got multiple seasons that's airing. They still getting money off the shows right now. A check probably every month for residuals for reruns.
Yep. I was just saying this as a joke, right? If Puff come home, he'd be like, yo, whoever owe me money, I need my money today.
Hey, you need to drop the scene from Paid in Full. Anybody that owe me money, B, he's dead. Anybody that ever looked at me wrong? Oh my God. Hey, shout out to Makai.
He did drop the Money Mitch mix.
Yeah, he did. Remember that? The MMM on everything. Yeah, I remember that.
It's crazy because I was listening to a Benny the Butcher song the other day, and I heard Puff on the
Summertime 25.
No, I'm talking about this is an older Benny song. Oh, and Puff was on the intro and the outro. I think it was either the intro or the outro. I think it was the outro. You know what I mean? And I was like, "Where are you linked up with Puff?"
Bro, Summertime 25 freestyle.
Oh, I heard that joint.
That shit is going crazy. Did you see the visuals?
Yeah, I seen it.
The visuals.
I'm up on all that. I'm not up on every single song that he drops, but the joints he drops solo, I'm up on that.
You see the butcher? Okay. You see the butcher chain?
Oh yeah, that chain is fire.
That motherfucking nasty, dog.
That chain is
Shout out to Benny, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my mama. If you only seen the Summertime 25 or heard the Summertime 25 freestyle, type that in on YouTube right now. That shit is going crazy, dog.
Definitely. Yo, another thing. Yeah, what you think about that that Mexican OT and Sauce Walker thing? Like,
well, I didn't see the video of OT saying it, but from what
He said like
Sauce
this.
was
He
saying
said,
is
hold
that
on, let me
he
bring
said
that
it
up.
in a room full of women. You know what I mean? So
You never seen the
definitely
clip?
didn't feel confident in saying it because he said it in a room full of motherfuckers that
he said,
really ain't
say
gonna.
something.
And even if they do, if the women do press the issue, he ain't gonna do nothing to him. You feel me? So you know what I mean? It's like, bro, you didn't really have the confidence. And you know what else Saul said? He has a half brother that like me. I'm a half. 100%. So if you got a half and the daddy is the donator of the of melanin into your skin, you are what your daddy is. 100%.
Do
So
you
like,
feel like you could say the N word?
I feel like I can say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why. I wish there was some black dudes in here.
What right there? And this one right here is not.
Okay, well, we're gonna use him. What the fuck are you gonna do about it, you know? And then second of all, I grew up loving these motherfuckers. I grew up fighting with them. I grew up eating with them. I grew up fucking doing bad shit with them. I grew up loving with them. You know, I got family.
Them like
And
not
it's not even about family. Even if I wasn't related to nobody, I play. I mean, well, shit, it's what the fuck I was surrounded by, you know? Like, I respect people that they feel that way, and that's why I try to shut the fuck up about it.
Right.
But if you're from where I'm from, or anywhere, what the fuck are you gonna do about it?
Do you feel like you could say the N word?
I feel like I can't say it, but not because of that, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yeah, so that was the clip that everybody was going crazy about. Now, Sauce Walker said, us saying that other races can't use the N word is like saying, well, Mexicans can't use the N word is like saying that like a black man can't eat tacos or something like that. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
well, so where I'm from,
I mean, they're from
in my
Houston
community,
too, though.
I got Asian homies that use it. It's the SA homies that use it. 100%. You know.
But do you call them spick out of solidarity?
Huh?
Do you call them stick
No,
or
I'm never
wetback
going.
out of solidarity?
That don't come across me. 100%. You know what I mean? It's some motherfuckers that can use it in a tier of a term in endearment. 100%. Just
What,
like how
stick
I use
or wetback?
No, I ain't gonna say that, bro. 100%. I'm
What
not.
about peckerwood or the word cracker? Like,
oh well, you know what I mean. I'm half of that, and I have definitely used that term blatantly. 100%. I definitely have used that because I have been oppressed. Because like I said, my daddy is a full-fledged African American. My grandma and my great-grandma come from the South, 100%. So I know what it is to be labeled in front of the whole world, no matter what you is and what you look like. As long as you have anything that say black on your thing or African American, whether you raised in the suburbs or where I'm from, you looked at as that 100%. So I know what it is 100%. But some of my peoples that have grew up in my community and have witnessed the same struggles, lived the same struggles, and are full-fledged. It ain't nothing against nothing. Hey, it's okay, bro. 100%.
yeah,
That's how it is. Where
I mean, all right. I get what you're saying. My thing is this, right? Like, I've seen white dudes call each other woods, right? I've seen Mexicans call each other spits or wetbacks, but that's they joking with each other amongst each other, right? So when black folks call each other the N-word amongst each other, I don't feel like somebody else would just take liberty to say, I could just call you the N-word because why I can't use it. Like, I just feel like you out of line. If your homies allow you to use that word around them, then use that word around them. But when you want to come out there in the public and say, well, I could say it because, well, we could call you a spick out of endearment. We could call you a wood out of endearment. But you're not going to take it the same, right? So stop worrying about why you can't use the N-word, bro. It ain't for you. And listen, I ain't the word police, but if you go out there and you call the wrong person the N-word, see, them dudes know what branches to climb on, bro. Because you go out there, you call the wrong person out of their name, and they're gonna check you, and they might come with an ass whooping on top of that. You see what I'm saying? So that's my thing. I don't like where like people want to come whore out our culture, but we can't do the same shit to them.
Well, so like my reasoning also is like it's other nationalities that push my community. You feel me? So they gonna ride with this 100%. You know what I mean? And it's not a derogatory term when they say it. 100%. They push the community name. Whatever's block they from in this community, they're pushing that 100%, bro. On my mama. So that right there in general lets me know that, like I said, I seen you from the sandbox. I seen you come up in this shit 100%. And it's not nothing derogatory. 100%. That's my thing right there. Like it's like, bruh, a lot of us come from the same struggles, bruh. 100%. And if you're not alienating us, even though you know, all of us go through different struggles because we all look different, 100%. But yet, when you live in the same community and we grew up together and we out there on a daily basis, 24/7, 100%, and it ain't just no essays and no Asians or Pacific Islanders. It's motherfuckers that come from the Dominican Republic, from the Bahamas. Them ain't African Americans, even though they come from Africa and
They're
shit
remixed,
like that.
bro.
And Africans don't look at it; they look at us different, even 100%, and they say the same word.
I mean, I get it, but my thing is like, why do everybody want to use that word? Why not use the derogatory terms that's within y'all community? Why not make that a thing?
Well, see, I'm not trying. I see my thing is
it's definitely over time because it was
I'm tired. Like, to me,
popularized.
to me, I'm tired of this conversation because it's real stupid.
My distinction between everybody is just fuck everybody. Think about the people that you grew up with and the people that don't look like you that do say it 100%. Because you got motherfuckers that's Latino in the Caribbean that have African descent. You have essays that have African roots 100%, bro. So you know what I mean? Who's to be able to diversify what they roots is? And so for my thing is to be able to do that and say something like that is because you went through the same struggles I went through, bro. You out there every day with me, bro. 100%.
I get it, but why does this topic always come up every episode often? Why can't somebody use the N-word? Like that just sounds so stupid. Like just listen to how that dumb that sounds. Why can I not use a derogatory term that another race uses among themselves? Why can I use it? Y'all got derogatory. Every race has derogatory terms that in some cases they may use it amongst themselves as a term of endearment, or they may be just, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've seen both sides. I've seen white folks call each other woods. I've seen Mexicans, hey, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Spick or wetback or whatever the case may be. But that's amongst them. Right. You don't see black people getting online and saying, why we can't use that word.
I got OG essay partners.
That make no sense.
I got OG essay partners that bang up here. You know what I mean? Bro, the OG partners, they don't say that. The younger generation is the ones that say that. That's because they are, you know what I mean? They've been intertwined. The OGs do not allow that shit. 100%, bro. I know several OG essays that's where they from, you know what I mean, that don't allow that will never say that just based on, you feel me? So
because
the
it's
younger
a respect
generation
thing.
100%.
It's a respect thing, period. Like there's no wavering on respect. It's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? So my thing, because it's certain folks that, like, I had a dude tell me the other day, he said, yeah, I had a Mexican call me an N-word when I was couple years ago, and I went right in his mouth. Who the hell you think you're talking to?
Oh, my mama.
You know what I mean? In Texas. So I don't know what the hell homeboy talking about. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, my thing is, why is it that one word that everybody, you know, like there's derogatory words in all cultures that in some cases, like I said, they use them on each other. Why is it this one word they want to keep probing on the same thing? Like, bro, because if somebody walk up to somebody and say, "Oh, well, what's up, Peckerwood?" or "What's up?" You're gonna take offense to that. You're not gonna think that it's just some term of endearment.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's a real bullshit conversation as far as asking this question of why you can't use a derogatory. No, go use the word and get ran in your mouth if you go run across the wrong person.
And if you gotta question yourself if you can or if you can't, then
you probably shouldn't do it.
100%, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and if you're justifying something, it's probably wrong.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
You feel me? So it's like, you know, because we don't go around, you know, the only person I've seen black folks do that with is white folks calling them, you know, the C word. You feel me? But when you look at the history of what went on, you see why they do that.
Yeah, where it derived from.
Exactly. We were oppressed by them. So it's a different, you know, it's a different
like
type
literally
of story.
from cracking a whip.
Exactly. You feel me? So, you know, but we don't go around calling other people out of their name or because we heard them use it, or that's their thing. It's just like two men, you know, it's just like somebody could be like, you know, what's up, bitch, and you know, the B word or whatever.
Yeah, like
amongst each other. You know what I mean? Poking fun at each other, right? But then somebody outside calls you and you like, what? Who are you talking to?
It's a wrap. Or that's where you at, big bro, the SMD.
Exactly.
It's a wrap.
That could get your head knocked right off your shoulders.
I think that's worldwide too.
What'd you say, Slim?
That could get your head knocked off your shoulders. You say that to the wrong person, they would, man. I know in the early 90s, man, they would leave you on that sidewalk talking like that. And it could happen today.
Yeah.
Come on now. Over
you
3 words.
You remember how crazy Tekashi was? Because that would be the first thing.
Right.
SMD. He would just go right to it. It's like, oh my God, I'm gonna find this kid.
But you know what? You can tell who's went through their life and never had to face any consequences for their actions.
You know what else too though, Slim? So SMD out here is calling one of the somebody a weirdo. That's how we take that stuff. You call me a weirdo, bro. What's happening? What the fuck is you talking about, bro? Are you serious?
Or the F word?
Yeah.
Or I'm a funny guy, just like Joe Pesci. Funny? What are you talking about? Funny?
Yeah.
You know everything. A weirdo? What you mean weirdo, bro? Oh, everything.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you know, that, and I didn't like Sauce Walker's response. That didn't make no sense. Even Adam 22, because he had a problem with Adam 22 calling it out that you said some dumb shit. But then you say, oh man, Adam 22. No, Adam 22 was dead right. You said some stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like, just what it is. You said some dumb shit. Like, trying to go along to get along. You could have just stayed quiet, bro.
My thing with with OT, right? He led off with a pod. So I didn't know it was on Angela Lee's pod. That's exactly called lip service. It's nothing but women that host that podcast. He looked around and said, "Oh, it's one African American over there. What is he gonna do?" Why did you lead off with that? Because at the end of the clip, before the clip cut off, he said he got family. Saul said he has a brother that has African American descent.
Oh, bro, isn't OT the Mexican half black?
I grew up with a brother that is his mama or his daddy is that's all you gotta say, bro. 100%, because he also said I ate with him, I slept with him, even though I didn't like that with them. I didn't like that part because my people is my people, no matter what color you is, so it's not gonna be no them. That was me overanalyzing situations. But bruh, the way that he led off by looking in the room at all four ladies and then looking at the production people.
The creepy. Do something about it.
Yeah, that right there.
But you know where that comes from?
Talk about it.
That's what happens when you allow stuff like this to go unchecked. Then you got people feeling like, well, you ain't gonna tell me nothing. I'm gonna say what I want to say. This is what happens when you allow stuff. Now, if it was a you know, if it was a regular thing for dudes to get checked like that,
right?
Because they, you know what I mean, then homie wouldn't have felt confident to just get on there and say that bullshit. Like,
okay, so let me do a little bit deep diver of where I'm from. I'm from Northern California, right? 916 to be exact, right? So in Southern California, the split off is maybe Bakersfield, Fresno, all
Fresno's
that.
still
Right?
central.
100%. So once you get up in there, the SAs, they politic completely different. You feel me? So down there, you'll have, I mean, even up here, you've had the race riots 100% between the black and the brown. But more down there, from my understanding, it's a little bit more prevalent because of, you know, just the way that the lay of the land is, you know what I mean? And I really can't deep dive into it. But from what I've heard, I ain't experienced, but I've experienced this up here less than what down there has happened, 100%. But my thing is like up here, we're more locked in, and I have always been. Down there, they have, and they still have they beasts in certain communities down there. You feel me? So that's why up here, you know, even with my Asian brothers, 100%, bro. It's like y'all know where I'm from. The big part is the hub, right? So at midnight, when the lights come on, maybe 11 o'clock during the because we get good weather out here, maybe 10 months a year. When 10 o'clock come on, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and the lights come on at the hoop court, it's the Asian rallies that's taking over the big part. For my whole career, 100%. They are at the hub on the main block, bro. They're there. You feel
Who's
me?
talking? We can't see you.
No, I'm trying to take my medicine. I don't want to take my medicine on camera, big bro. That's all that is. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's just like they are embedded, and they are. I'm not singling them out as a people because my community has multiple diversities of ethnicities, 100%, just like every fucking community, and it is real ones everywhere, 100%. It's just those outsiders that feel entitled and ask why they can't do that.
Exactly.
Bro, first of all, you ain't grew up in this. Second of all, if you gotta ask for something, you shouldn't be doing it, bro.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Now, Eric Hughes, he said SMD is inviting another man to your body. In the South, we don't go for that shit. VA ain't playing no games with that family. The boy will get you tuned up too. Calling somebody boy out here.
Yo, yeah.
Definitely.
Look,
that's my motherfucking big bro right there, E. Hughes, bro. I appreciate you for pulling up.
What up,
make sure you tap in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Fans Perspective, big bro, 100%. Because he on the East Coast too, big bro, 100%. Slim is dropping that real knowledge, big bro. You gonna make sure you gonna find this motherfucking channel highly motherfucking aggressive, progressive with highly intelligent conversation, big bro. My dog E. Hughes, that's my dog, bro. Make sure you good looking for pulling up and tap in, big bro, on my mama. I've really met E. Hughes in real life. Me, him, and Seven, and my brother, my dog, brother Fox. We was at the state capitol on a march.
I remember seeing that post.
Bro. 100. We kicked it like a motherfucker on some real positivity shit on my mama. So shout out to my dog Eric, aka the fantasy football big guy.
For sure.
Hey man, shout out. Okay, the big guy from out here.
No, so he down in the Kakalakis on my mouth.
Yeah, shout out to the big guy.
Kakalakis, okay.
That's my dog right there, man.
Yeah, nah, that's what it is. Like you talking about North Carolina?
I know I've been.
No, hey, just like on the wood. No, so Kakalaki, but North Carolina. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
come on now,
man. Yeah, I like North Carolina.
That's my dog right there.
They get all the seasons too.
I like North Carolina, man. But yeah, like
to Carolina.
You know, that's my thing. Like I just feel like it's a stupid conversation for people to keep having as far as like why we can't do this, why we can't do that. Why you can't just walk around, just be regular disrespectful to whoever you feel like being disrespectful to, and just take what come with that.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just dumb, man. Like you know what I mean? You know,
even on a way lesser level, but same line, opposite ends. when females, they call each other bitch all day. What's up, bitch? Bitch, I gotta tell you, work was crazy. For real, bitch. Hold on, bitch. Let me hit you back. Kids going crazy. Hey, you know, this is how women talk to each other. But then, you know what I mean? Somebody else called a woman a bitch, or say someone calls another woman calls your woman a bitch in public, and we don't know her. She don't know you. You don't know my lady like that. The fuck?
Exactly.
Even I was
Somebody
gonna
gonna
say
go in
something.
your mouth.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Talking crazy like that. Somebody gonna go in your mouth.
You
Like
know
that.
what I mean?
That's like the New Orleans dudes, you know what I mean? They'll say, you know, bitch was
Oh yeah,
had.
they say bitch
You know
to
what
each
I
other
mean?
like a term of
100%.
endearment.
But
Yeah.
100%, you know what I mean? But
Damn,
outside
bitch.
of
But
it,
if they say was handed, bitch, or bitch was handed, that's like, oh no, it's a problem now.
See,
And-
that's the thing. You don't know. You don't know whether it's a term of endearment or they beefing with you or what. You know what I'm saying? Because
and
it
watch
could be
this
said
one,
the
Slim.
same way for
Hey,
both
my
situations.
neighbor's from he was from the sixth ward, and you know he'd be like, I say wild shit, and he'd laugh. You know, bitch is stupid. I was like, oh yeah, it's New Orleans. That's right.
Hey,
New
Bogey.
Orleans. I was like,
Hey,
he just
Bogey,
called
what
me
does
a bitch.
Beezy mean? What does Beezy mean, Bogey?
A beezy is commonly referred to as a hood rat or a young thoughty in today's day and age.
And Yellow Beezy, when he came out on the motherfucking West Coast, they was like, bruh, Beezy means woo-wah, woo-wah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But in different regions, different words mean different
Yeah.
things. You know what I mean? You
I
got
mean, also
Yellow
a beezy could mean like, you know, a beezy could be anything that starts with a B that you just call beezy. Like, for example, if somebody needed like a specific weight, like a ball, it's like, hey, maybe get a beezy, allegedly. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. But otherwise, yeah, it's commonly referred to as a bitch, a bop, even like a young dumb one that you program. Hey, what was bruh in the what was his name? He's like, what is a hood rat or something like that? Remember what was that show? Black People. Remember, it's like I ain't know black people was a show. It was a skit. Remember?
Was that a Dave Chappelle show?
Yeah, remember, and he had bruh for the liquor store. You know, he was from he was from like Staten Island or something. He worked at the bodega. You know what I mean? he ended up coming in second place or something. But yeah, he was just like, they were like, what is a chicken head? And he was like, oh man, that's when you take home to the crib and wear out.
That's what the white boy said.
No, that's
You know what else he said? What is a Lucy? And the white boy said, you can get that for 25 cents from the bodega.
Yep, that's a cigarette.
Yeah.
Oh my mama. Yeah, that was on Dave Chappelle.
The first, I know in Florida they call it stoves.
A what?
Yeah, that's what
Stove.
Oh, a stove's not a stoga.
Or a stove. A stove. I think it's stogie.
Yeah, stove. Yeah, because that became the thing out west when I was growing up. That's what we called them, stoves. And then in the East Coast, first time I ever went to the East Coast, 2011, I was in New York, and they were all calling it bogeys, and I was like, oh shit, that's what my homies call me. Yeah,
they definitely call it bogeys. You know what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, like
that's one thing about this day and age that we live in is because, like, when we was growing up, all our terminology was all regional. You feel me?
Yeah.
Now all of our terminology is bi-coastal. Even for my Midwest
like
brothers and my down south brothers and sisters, you know what I mean? All of our terminology is universal now. You feel me? And it's bringing us together. That's why the
crazy.
era of hip hop that we're getting back to is so important. Is because now we're starting to trying to get back to that good music and trying not to be hella diversified, man. We got to get back to that good music. And now that everything is so open, we need to be locking in and making a good product, bro.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Like I watch certain dudes, like some of these new rappers, you know, like let's say Rock 49, for instance, right? I watch Homie in the studio, and I watch a few rappers. I watch Young Thug in the studio, like how they make their music. And I'll be like, bro, that's BS, bro. I don't see
standing in the booth and then just going like 4 bars at a time, punching in and out.
You not only it's not just that, you're not saying nothing.
That's fact.
You know what I mean? Like, people got to get back to real rap, man. People got to get back to real rap, man. Like, the rap game's so watered down right now, man. It's ridiculous. But I did notice that I slang like New Orleans cats. They say son. And I'm like,
yeah.
And they
My
say it
neighbor
like
all day.
regular. It's like regular to them. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, you feel
Yo,
me?
son is crazy.
Yeah, like or another one, dead ass. I hear a lot of people using that.
Yeah. They use that over here now. They use that over here, bro.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
It's
dead ass is New York shit. Like,
100%.
Yeah, back when I was,
who
crazy.
when I was when my guys
that I
in
heard
Harlem back in
use that,
2011,
Slim?
they were saying dead ass.
Huh?
You know, one of the first persons that I used to hear that on a regular say that is Apple. We be in the lobby and Apple be talking her shit in dead ass.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my mama, I swear to you, bro. Shout out to my sis Apple on everything, bro. She be talking her shit, and that's one of the main persons that I used to hear say that shit, bro. 100%.
Yeah, and then like I've learned like some of the terms that have in the last like 10, maybe 15 years that have been universal for the younger generation, like that I started using like mid, or like instead of saying, you know, like, oh, they don't say something's whack, they say it's mid, because you know this is how my oldest was talking when she was like,
mid is mediocre. It's
but I'm just saying it's mid, like, you know what I mean, like, oh,
if it's whack,
all of a sudden, or like,
trash,
or it's busting, something's busting, like, oh, this shit, like
that's Chicago, that's Chicago
slang.
slang. Something's busting. That's Chicago slang.
We say that over here.
These kids saying it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
we say busting
10
over
years,
here.
Or like phoning. I be hearing people phoning. I'm like, I'm not from Chicago.
That's that region. That's that originated
like
over here.
Rose. Like if you say Rose, man, you know this person's from EPA or Menlo.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of our styles though. You know what I mean? The Chicagoans, they and y'all too. The Nike Techs. 100%, bro. The Nike Techs with the forces and shit like that, you know what I mean? That's y'all because you gotta have that shit out there. 100%.
I ain't gonna front. We don't wear no black forces like that up here, like that.
We'll talk about it then. Oh, my mama, my bad.
Yeah,
but also, I mean, just the Timbs too, though. You got West Coasters in LA or just in SoCal and NorCal
that wear Timbs.
And they wear them like
y'all. I wanted to look like Wu-Tang Clan, bro.
Oh my mama.
Yeah, I think I kind of got tired of Timbs. It's so cliche, like, you know what I mean?
When I stopped wearing Timbs, when they stopped when I first turned 21 and they said, oh shit, you gotta wear boots to go in here. I pull up in the club and then you can't wear Timbs. I'm like, oh,
you got steel toes on. That's what it was.
I ain't gonna front. We wasn't just wearing Timbs though. We was wearing A Solos. We was wearing Gore-Tex. You know what I mean? We was wearing like
ACGs.
Well, ACGs, Nike. Yes.
What about
but not when it was just a boot. I'm talking about before when ACGs
was tennis shoes. Trust me, I know. I grew up in the 90s, bro. I know about the ACGs, my G.
But we wore like the rock climbing boots. You know what I'm saying? The snow boots. Mm-hmm. So it was a different companies that made it that had Gore-Tex.
Even Polo had them type of snow boots.
Yep,
they did. But I'm talking about. Hold on, let me show you something, man. I'm gonna show you like.
You know what else I got in my repertoire right now? I got Bally's. I got 3 pairs of Bally's. I paid $500 for, and I got 5 pairs. 100%, bro. I got Bally's in my closet right now.
Yeah. Nah, shit. Yeah, Bally's was the thing like in the 80s, early 90s up here.
Listen, 100%.
People still wear them. But that's when it was like really big, like
100%. Hey, I be in my own mode. I be in my own mode. You know what I mean?
The young cat that I seen from this era that wore Bally's was Bobby Smurda.
Bro, it got the double B on the belt buckle, on everything. That shit fired in a motherfucker. Hey, the Bally shit go crazy, bro.
You see these? These rocket joints like these, like the Vasquez. The A Solos, you know what I mean? It wasn't
we used to do Stacey Adams in the West Coast.
Yeah,
shout out to the Stacey's.
I remember, I remember they had some I don't know if they still sell them, but they had some joints like these, some Gore-Tex joints that you put a Allen key in the bottom and like what is it? 9 spikes come out the heel.
Oh wow, traction.
Yeah, it's to give you traction, but I'm like, somebody gets stomped out with that. Oh my gosh, that's a mess. That is a
You
mess.
hear people walking. Oh, they already got the spikes out.
Yeah, like that is a mess, bro. I was like,
Hey, when the snow start for y'all, bro?
It depends. Like it could start in
November.
but sometimes it could prolong till December. Sometimes it'll prolong till January.
But you guys get the rain though once the fall comes around, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely get
Yeah,
that
during
fall
just
weather.
the on the Friday episode of the P Diddy shit, it was just raining out there in the city.
Yeah, it's raining because
coming
it's
down.
mad hot. So a lot of the reason why it's raining right now is the humidity is really high.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
forcing that
dust it
shit
back
down.
Yeah, it's forcing it down.
Oh, everything.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? But
You know what's crazy? When I was the one time when I was in New York, when it was raining and like when the rain stopped, I was like, oh shit, it stinks.
mm,
You know what I'm talking about? Well, I was in Manhattan, so it's like
yeah, Manhattan is a
there's a lot of there's like
it's
this
a
whole
clusterfuck. Yeah,
A
Manhattan.
cluster.
yeah. And
Yeah,
like
like-
it just stank, like because when the wet concrete smell with all the fucking nastiness on it, it was just like, whoa.
Yeah, especially when don't let me get started with the garbage juice leaking
Oh,
out
look
the
at
garbage.
when
juice.
I
Oh
was
my
out there.
gosh.
You might remember
Horrible. You
It
want to
was when they
run
had
for
the
cover
garbage
when that.
strike.
Hey, so I just seen a story about how they're putting new trash cans out there for y'all in the city because of the rodent infestation. They just passed a bill to put these new trash cans out, which
Because
is like big
when do they
ass,
ever come and clean those trash cans, those big dumpsters, even?
and
Like,
so they're and they're hella big now, brother, and just not like the typical like regular house light type shit. You know what I mean? I just seen the story.
I don't think it's ever gonna get. I don't know if it's ever gonna get to a point where they're gonna
where does all the garbage go?
No. Where they're totally gonna have a control over that rat problem because it's so the underbelly of New York is super duper filthy, man.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The underbelly. Now we're not talking about the nice looking streets.
You talk about the sewers.
The underbelly, the sewers, the subways, you know what I mean, the landfills, like, you know, that's where you have to really, look at. You know,
That's
the Hudson
like
River
here
is
with
dirty
us.
as hell. You feel me?
So where I'm at, big bro, when they first started building the city, it was all under sea level. So we got a lot of shit that's still underground. You know, you can still do tours and shit like that. You know what I mean? But when you under level and you next to rivers, you know what I mean, levees, you gonna get all that extra bullshit, skunks, rats, bro. We get sea lions at a specific time of the year because at where the river is where I'm at, which is the Sacramento River, it feed into the delta. So when the salmon run,
would you eat a sea lion?
lions is coming into motherfucking fresh water. They ain't in the salt water. You feel me? 100%, bro. So that shit be crazier than a motherfucker.
Yo, how you think Drake is faring right now? You think he stand to make a strong comeback, or you think it's quiet for him?
Well, they say that the ice. What do they call him? The Iceman. The Iceman is the name of the album.
Listen,
I don't know. I wasn't following.
Okay. Would you say that Drake has made the same music forever? So like you don't really see growth in his music. It appeals to a younger crowd. When you have kids in bar mitzvahs and parties like that singing "Not Like Us," like it's funny because like especially with this day and age, if the kids don't think it's cool to like Drake anymore, that's what he has to overcome now. Like he has to come with really good music he's what's funny about it, I just think about it, Drake, he has a cult following. It just happens to be worldwide as fuck. You know what I mean? So like he's gonna be okay as far as the numbers and all that shit goes. But for critics, musically, he has to come with something great. Otherwise, I don't think I think Drake has had his best days for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Oh yeah. But look, Bogey, tell me where to catch you at.
Man, you can catch me anywhere you consume your music. Apple, Spotify, things of that nature. Just search Bogart Scott-Free. And on YouTube, Gen Wealth Net. And on Instagram,
hello?
all one word, Gen Wealth Net _
Hold on, back. All right, so catch me from a fan's perspective on YouTube. Shout out to Bogey, shout out to JD, Hard to start. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.